Our mission is to, our vision is to provide biologics which are innovative and affordable for patients and thereby benefit not only patients but people who provide for healthcare across the world. Our mission is to play in the area of biotech. We are a biologic company. Our values are very clearly stated: integrity, ethical, performance-driven, value creation, quality, because there's no substitute to quality, right? And that comes by next practices and by respecting community and requiring to do what is required for the society. This is the Biocon journey. Biocon was started in the year 78 and it was started from a garage, and today we are at a state where our market cap is about 3.5 billion. So the journey has been amazing, right? We started off as an enzymes company and then we had our first IPO. You know, our chief promoter, Mrs. Kiran Majumdar-Shaw, is the person who started the company, and in the year 2004 we listed in the stock exchange. And from there the transformation has been to build expertise in biologics, in not only the enzyme business that was there, but we developed products out of that. While we divested the enzyme business, we kind of used the unlocked value in kind of building our blocks for the future. We entered into partnerships with many companies, which I will take you around. We had a product, we had our company called Syngene, which deals in CRO and which is also a clinical trial company. So contract research organizations, if you have heard, Syngene deals with that. In 2015, we had an IPO for Syngene, and then in 2016 and 17, we launched Glargine in Japan, insulin Glargine in Japan. We filed for trastuzumab, pegfilgrastim, and Glargine in European Union, and trastuzumab and pegfilgrastim filed in US. As we speak, we are even going to, our file will be accepted in the US for insulins as well. So that has been the journey for Biocon, and by FY19, which means in the year 19 and 20, the Indian financial year is from April to March. So in FY19 means in the year 19 and 20, in that year we will cross 1 billion in our turnover. So that's a landmark that we are looking forward for. So what makes it as a credible enterprise? Is it okay if I sit down?
Okay.
Yeah? All right. What makes us a credible company? It is the kind of intellectual property we carry. Being a biologic company, it is important that we safeguard our knowledge by way of patents. So we have more than 1,300 patent applications, around 1,050 patents generated. We have to ourselves 555 trademarks registrations, and from our research tables, we have around 7 biologics from the R&D to the market. We have 2 novel biologics and 5 biosimilars that we developed in-house. So it has been a large knowledge hub for this part of the geography. And I stand corrected, it is more than 120 countries that our products are available. So we have more than 25 CGMP approvals for international regulatory agencies, and they are from most of the most developed markets: US, European Union, Japan, France, Brazil, Mexico, Turkey, the GCC countries, etc. So why is it important for us to mention this? It is because that these countries have a very rigid quality policy, a very rigorous one, and therefore it might be of interest for you to know that we comply with these, and therefore allows us to move. So if you really see, we are a different kind of a pharma company. We have an US FDA approval for statins, which is lovastatin. In the year 2004, we launched our first RH insulin called Insugen. We launched a novel biologic in the treatment of head and neck cancer, Biomab. In 2009, we launched insulin glargine, which is again a basal insulin. It's an analog, so insulins became a mainstay. We went on to even launch devices, and therefore we launched the first insulin device, which is the Insupen. We launched a novel biologic, which is from itolizumab or alzumab in the year 2013, and that's a Biocon research product. In 2014, we broke the monopoly of Roche. We launched a Herceptin biosimilar. We launched Canmab. And 2015, we launched one more disposable insulin pen by name Basalog 1. So 2016 was a landmark where our insulin glargine was approved by Japanese FDA, a Japanese regulatory agency called PMDA, and as of now, our product sells in Japan through a partner company called Fujifilm. So that is our movement. And it might interest you to know we are amongst the top 10 best global biotech employers. So who's number 1? Regeneron. Who's number 4? Eli Lilly. Who's number 7? Genentech. Who's number 9? Biocon. So, and what I wanted to tell you is that because of being a biotech company, we rub shoulders with the global best. And we are in that pecking order. Amongst the top players, we are the number 9. So that's an immense statement of pride for us. It goes to show what our employees do in our success and how they feel when they come to work. Business segments. Okay. What are the growth pillars of Biocon? We have biologics, which have novel biologics and biosimilars, which is basically your human insulin or RH insulin, insulin analog. We have the monoclonal antibodies, which are used, in our case, the treatment of cancer, recombinant proteins. So these are the novel biologics we have. We have branded formulations, which is the finished dosage business in India and overseas. We have it in the UAE and South Asia. We have research services where Syngene focuses on molecular biology. We provide research services for companies in the area of molecular biology, biologics, synthetic chemistry, bioinformatics, and clinical research. So we have, as you see, this building is called BRC. If you move 4 blocks away, you have another building called BBRC. Why BBRC? Because it is Bristol Myers Biocon research that's going on. So BRC is Biocon Research Center, and BBRC is Bristol Myers Biocon Research Center. So I'm saying this only to, in a nice way, tell you that we have global partners and we have dedicated services that we offer through Syngene for developing molecules and focusing in areas around the 4: molecular biology, biologics, synthetic chemistry, bioinformatics, and clinical research. So those are the 4 verticals. We have a small molecule business where we do APIs. We also do biologics. novels and biosimilar. And what are the formats in which we do business? We do a B2B business and we give drug substance, we send it to companies and they market it they do the final formulation and market it. We otherwise also give drug products in vials and cartridges and pre-filled syringes, and we also sell delivery devices to other businesses. So this is what we do. Now biologics are of two varieties. You can broadly cover them as, one is biosimilars, meaning there is an originator brand and we create a biologic similar, okay? And that is what biosimilars are. And novel biologics are, we create the biology ourselves and we create new products. So we have a leadership in innovation in insulin tregopil and itolizumab. Insulin tregopil is undergoing clinical trial, and guess what? Insulin, people are scared because you have to take it through an injection. But insulin tregopil is with a difference. It is an oral insulin, and therefore it is really focused on by many organizations. They are looking at, the scientific community is looking at it with interest. So we have passed the phase 2 and we are in work in progress for phase 3 trials. So touch wood, hopefully if it comes, millions of patients will benefit because of oral insulin, right?
And when do you expect that it is to be?
R&D is a very risky
R&D.
business. So far we have had good phase 2, but phase 3 is where what the drug does inside the body, how long it acts, what is its safety. It is tested over a large number of patients.
Can we ask questions?
Feel free.
How different is this from, say, metformin?
Yeah, metformin belongs to a category of drugs that stimulate the pancreas to release insulin. This is insulin itself. Beyond a point, for most diabetics, not necessary for all, but for many diabetics, the pancreas kind of are dead. Over time, after you take medicines, if the body stops responding to medicine. At that time is when you will have to take insulin from outside. The normal method of taking insulin is through injections. And why? Because insulin was not stable in the oral form. That's why. Because it's a biologic, right? So, which is where our research is trying to provide a unique breakthrough molecule in its oral insulin form. Fantastic. If it comes, great thing for India, great thing for Asians, because we are sitting in a diabetes time bomb. You know, in India alone, you will have more than 70 million diabetics by 2020. India alone. So we are the diabetic capital of the world, right? So and like our friend was saying, in Brunei, in Singapore, in everywhere in Southeast Asia, you know, many of the rice-eating populations, right? Diabetes is a big issue. So the other molecule, we have a pipeline that includes peptides, monoclonal antibodies, novel fusion MABs, and signaling RNAs. These are all biologics which provide targeted therapy with low side effects. But we have to take care because they're all biologics. Very expensive in R&D, and results not, R&D productivity not guaranteed. So that is our business model, and therefore we are entrenched into this. Then why biologics also, especially the last few ones that I said, the fusion MABs, the SIRNAs, they have the potential to change the treatment of cancer, and of diabetes. Okay, so which is why they are very unique, and Biocon is in a very, very what shall I say, privileged position that we have as people who are working in this space, and we have a head start over other companies. In biosimilars, we do insulin analogs, as you have as I was telling you, monoclonal antibodies and proteins. We address a market size of 60 billion, and we are one of the early people who have entered biosimilars, and therefore we have the advantage. Excuse me. Okay, so let me get into a little bit of detail on biosimilars. In biosimilars, firstly, I want to talk about insulins and insulin analogs. Portfolio consists of insulin and delivery devices. We are amongst the top 3 manufacturers of insulin globally. If you put all the insulins we sell, we have approvals in 60 plus markets for RH insulin and more than 20 plus markets in insulin glargine. And to cap it all, you know that we are the first biosimilar from India to be launched in Japan. And we have a marketing authorization application for insulin glargine accepted for review by EMA. And if you look into the second row, we have filed in EU. Our files have been accepted in European Union, Australia, Canada. US filing is as we speak now, and we have the Japan marketing already there and in the emerging markets. So and further to it, we are developing 2 new rapid-acting insulins, which are insulin aspart and insulin dispro, the last 2. These 2. Those are undergoing preclinical now, and the total market they address is about 17 million. By 2020, Biocon would have reached 90% of the diabetic population globally, at least the geographies. Okay. The second is MABs and recombinant proteins, by and large to treat on cancer and autoimmune disorders like rheumatoid arthritis. In that, we have trastuzumab, which we launched. After we launched, Roche, which is the originator, reduced the price by half. So we have been instrumental in lowering cost of therapy, and we give a product with global clinical trials. And just imagine if the governments can provide for more number of people and provide for the full course of treatment, you save more lives. So therefore, companies like Biocon, which operate in the biosimilar area, are a boon to many governments, because we not only save on costs, we bring more patients to the table for treatment. Then we have other products like pegfilgrastim, trastuzumab, accepted by EMA, and we also have them accepted by US FDA. In fact, the government has instituted a committee to work along with Biocon to fast-track launch of these products in the US. So this pipeline, as you can see, addresses a market size of almost 44 billion, right? So the earlier one in insulins was 17 billion. This is about 44 billion. So we are pretty much in a large footprint in the biologics area. The total opportunity available in biologics is 80 billion by 2020. And we are in the addressable market of 61 billion, almost more than 2/3. So we are kind of well placed and well positioned as a high-tech company. Now the problem is King Cash. You know King Cash? All of us know King Cash, right? But do we have King Cash? Money. You know, if you have assets and products, if you want to develop them, it's very expensive. In biologics, the clinical trials that you do are almost, you have to spend almost equivalent to an originator product, right? If it was a chemical molecule, you don't have to spend any money because all you have to do is just bring in chemical equivalents. But because it is biologic, governments for approving them insist we do rigorous clinical trials. So you need to spend almost as much as the big companies. So Biocon very cleverly ties up with international companies. So we have partnered with Mylan, one of the largest generic companies and specialty pharma for biosimilars. So the tie-up includes 6 biosimilars for oncology, on autoimmune indications, and 3 generic insulin analogs. So for these 9 products, we have tied up with Mylan, and what will they do? They will do the clinical development and registration trials for Biocon. So that's the tie-up. And what do they get in return? They will be co-developing it with us. They will have exclusive rights in certain markets. We will have rights in certain markets. So if you look at the competitive scape, this is phase 1, this is preclinical, this is phase 3, and this is approved go-to-market. As you can see, in most of these assets, we are in phase 3, and in insulin glargine, we are already ready and approved in these markets. So as you can see, there are not too many companies here, and therefore we are very well placed as Biocon to launch our products globally, as we are well ahead of the clinical trials of many regulatory countries. Now, do we have any footprint of manufacturing outside of India? Yes, we do. We have a big plant in Malaysia where we not only handle insulins, but we also do devices, insulin devices, right? And we manufacture cartridges, vials, devices, in addition to insulin drug substance and drug products. We have entered into a tie-up for commercial supplies with the Ministry of Health in Malaysia. So our facility in Bangalore is US FDA approved, and it has many validations on EMA, ANVISA, COFPRE, PMDA, to name a few. We also have the WHO GMP guidelines. So what you will see is part of it, and you will also get to see our R&D. So much of the knowledge happens here. We have other manufacturing facilities outside of Bangalore, Malaysia I just spoke about. We have one at Hyderabad in the south of India, and Visakhapatnam again in the south of India.
Why you choose Malaysia? Is there any specific reason, or only just regarding the amount?
I think we received a very positive gesture from the government, and therefore, the prevalence of diabetes being very high, the government support being there, and our own interest to establish outside of India a location where we could supply insulins to the world. So many things came together.
They give incentives as well.
Yes, yes. So we have branded formulations, which I had. We have it in India. We also have it in the UAE. UAE, of course, there's another person. I handle India and South Asia. Specialty business, they're broadly in the areas of insulin, oncology, immunotherapy, nephrology. These are the therapy areas we are present in. In UAE, we are ranked, though we launched it very recently, we are already in the top 15 companies in UAE. And many of our brands are in the top 3. So our key brands, as you can see, are all insulins, are oncology products, cancer products, dermatology, specialty, and critical care. So New products in our pipeline, diabetes is the first-in-class oral. It's a prandial insulin, and it is phase 2 ready. And as I said, it's undergoing phase 3 trials, right? Then we have siRNAs, which are QPI 1001, 1007, and 1024, where we have tied up with Quark Pharmaceuticals. And it is a joint development where we are, trying to develop these drugs for inflammatory disorders of the eye. And the QPI 1024 is for rheumatoid arthritis. We have immuno-oncology, we have fusion mab, which is targeted therapy, and that's undergoing preclinical. So this is our pipeline where our R&D is busy with. Very complicated products, requires a lot of knowledge capital. We also have small molecules. We have statins, we have immunosuppressants. We, I think, are the second largest producers of tacrolimus in the world. So we have other biopharma products like orlistat, fidomaxin, multiple other molecules, but these are. So Syngene, what does Syngene do? It is the leading India's contract research organizations, right? It is publicly listed. It has 3 verticals. It has dedicated R&D centers, discovery services, and development services, along with manufacturing for research. It's an integrated discovery and development platform. So you can come in, we have in Hyderabad, we have a center where people say you come with a story, you go back with a movie, right? So you can come in with an idea and go back with a product, right? Ramoji Rao.
Yes, I've been there.
You've been there, right?
And this is the tagline they always say.
This always say, right? We can come with a story and go out with a movie.
But of
right?
course, you should have the.
And of course, you need to have the money. So like that, I'm just kind of putting it nice. It is just that we offer research services from discovery to development in Biocon. So we co-work along with companies, and the BBRs, the Bristol Myers wing, is just across. You could go and have a look. We have more than 300 clients, and we have the people who work with us are Abbott, BMS, Baxter, Amgen, and Herbalife Nutrition. So we work with all these companies in the contract research organization. We have more than 3,000 qualified scientists working here, and it's a world-class R&D and manufacturing infrastructure with over 1.3 million square feet. So really a knowledge park, I would say. All right, I wouldn't want to spend much time here. All of you know that we have a revenue of 40 million Indian rupees. We grew by 18%, and in the Indian pharma, it must be one of the highest growths. And almost all our verticals have shown very good growths. Biologics and branded formulations being the lead. So we have a very, very robust business model here. We're very conscious that we have to make improvements in the community, so we invest in healthcare, in education, and community development around in this. We have a place called Biocon Nagar in the surrounding where we have adopted around 500 families, and so that's, we teach, and we also take part in their healthcare delivery. We partner with the government. We have so far partnered with Karnataka, Rajasthan, and the Rajasthan government. We run the public health units, PHUs, in Karnataka and Rajasthan. We take over the building. We have 2 models. We work with the government doctors, or if the infrastructure is given to us, we put in our doctors and our nursing staff. We work with both the models. So it's a public-private partnership with the government, where in 2 states of Karnataka and Rajasthan, we work with the government. And it's been very well appreciated. So we do other things like we do camps across India for diagnosing oral and cervical breast cancer. We do a lot of programs on awareness and camps for diabetes and hypertension. For reasons India, it's not just malnutrition, but it's chronic disease, right? Non-communicable diseases like cancer and diabetes, which are also very important in India and kind of result in a huge outlay, financial outlay from the people. So we also infuse technology. We help the governments. We start these smart clinics. Okay. So what we do is we set up computers and a lab station. We have a unique diagnostic machine that can perform over 70 tests. And we use that in our e-large clinic. So it is a completely automated clinic where the registration is done by a professional sitting. We have around 3 computers in the clinic. So everything is well documented. There is a doctor in the station. We do around 70 tests. And the good thing is they're all mobile. So we do this dedicated e-large clinics where we are able to give quick diagnosis with the necessary diagnostic tests being done. And there is also a pharmacy station that dispenses drugs. So we are able to impact community a lot. With the government, these e-large clinics help in giving them data. Even the government sometimes doesn't know because it has a pen and paper system. Because we are able to kind of capture it online, they are informed, okay, this area has more diabetics, this area has more cancer patients coming for treatment. So even if they are going to give free treatment, they know what drug should go into what center. So this is very much appreciated by the government. There's another way we give back to society. KGI, we all know KGB, right? Of the erstwhile Soviets. But this is not KGB, this is KGI. Keck Graduate Institute. Now with Keck Graduate Institute, Claremont, California, we have tied up to provide for a 16 weeks full-time Biocon KGI certificate program for biosciences. Now what does this program do? It kind of develops biotechnology students to work in the biotech industry. So it gives them a very a solid practical view about what the biotechnology industry is in terms of its application, in terms of what goes in biotechnology companies, what is the kind of applications that are there, and therefore tries to convert the academic intelligence into application, making people ready to enter biotechnology. Now you might ask us, why are you doing this? Because we are pioneers in biotechnology, and there are not too many biotechnology companies in India. So where will we get the talent from? We can't get them from the Bay Area in the United States. So this is part of developing talent for the Indian biotechnology. In fact, a lot of ASEAN countries, students from ASEAN countries come to attend this program. From Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, we have from all these countries.
Is there any way for us to get the numbers?
I will, can you just note it down? This gentleman's name, and if you can leave behind your card, we're very happy to give you the name of the academy and the...
I will do that.
Yeah, Bindu Ajit, the coordinator.
I will take it.
Yeah, we are very, very happy to do that.
Cheers.
Okay, so it is our job as front runners in biotechnology to create more industry-ready people for Southeast Asia and India. And we've also tied up with BITS Pilani. This is one of the very reputed institutions in India. It's also present in Dubai and a couple of places in India. We have a full-time certificate program in applied industrial microbiology. So again, feeding to the industry. You must be happy to know that we only take a token fee from the student. 75% of the fee is scholarship, right? So you will have video conferencing classes from the Keck Graduate Institute from Claremont. So there are daily classes over the 16 weeks. So it's a tough course. So
do you have multiple branches of this, or is it just
no,
one
it is in our campus.
Right here.
Yes. So children and students, they stay in and around the campus, and they come to the classrooms which are in our premises.
Are there any Asean students here at the moment?
As we speak now, we have train the trainer programs for lecturers and professors in BTech biotechnology colleges. So around 20-25 of them are now here from various biotechnology institutions who teach BTech biotechnology to undergo this course. So we even do a train the trainer with an attempt to include this in the curriculum of the educational institution. So we're kind of not only mentoring institutions, we also kind of prepare students. So we are trying to impact in more ways than one.
Sorry, when we say students, how old are we looking at?
Students are normally between 20 and 25. Normally. But there are exceptional students as well. We had someone from Sri Lanka, they wanted to send their existing employees in the regulatory. So that's under process now. If it goes through, it'll be, many of them will be between 35 and 40. So, but by and large, to answer your question, it is between 20 and 25. So it's soon after they come out of college, they get into things like this. Sorry, you had a question?
Yeah, I mean, this is more of a general question actually.
Sure.
Since you're one of the leading, not the leading biopharmacy companies in India, do you have a sense of how hard it is to get the youth interested in life sciences and perhaps in this particular field?
All right. I'm going to struggle to answer this question, but let me try. Okay. Biotechnology is getting very popular gradually because it is getting into a whole lot of crop science, many of the life sciences, as you may, and a lot of industries are espousing biotechnology. Now, the government has been, so we have a lot of educational institutions where we have good capacity for biotechnology, and they're all fast filling up. It is just that many of the students wouldn't remain in India. They would fly off to places where you had probably China, Australia, the United States being the most popular destination. Not sure post-Trump what it'll be, but right. We used to lose. There used to be a drain because of lack of acceptability of students in India. Not much of job opportunities. But now that biotechnology is picking up in India, it kind of now, it's not only attracts more students, but because the needs of the industry is very high, right? And the problem is we don't have too much talent, which is why this initiative. So therefore, there is a demand and supply. We want to create capability of education, and we are also altering policy from the government. In terms of, we're still dithering in terms of food, where should be when it comes to biotechnology. Medicines is a long accepted one. So it's picking up. Now if we crop science accept biotechnology, if policy regulation is removed, then we will have more students. Then it will be a huge glut in the way biotechnology will become an interesting area of education. Clearly, in India, as must be in many Southeast Asian countries, software is the real one with masala, or the real, you know what, right? Is the ticket to getting big jobs. And Bangalore is the software hub in India, so a lot of students clamor for that. Biotechnology is not far behind, I must tell you that. So long answer, I don't know if I've answered your question, but that's how it is.
How successful has your education initiatives in expanding the talent pool for you?
I think we have dealt with, there was a number here, so let me just get the correct, not give you a bad number. We're doing too little actually. In the last 1.5 years, we've done about 300 students, which is not bad. You know, it's a start. So, which is why we're saying that currently as we speak, there are around 25, around about 25 lecturers and professors who are with us, who are undergoing this course. So we are trying to impact in more ways than one. You can't be the only one doing it, so it becomes too little, too far, you know. So, yeah. So getting the curriculum to accept applications is another story from the pharma world. So we are getting there. But I think what makes us proud is that we are contributing to the industry in more ways than one. I've spoken about this, so I'm not, just in case you are interested, we are very proud that we are going to be a 1 billion company in 2 years' time. So FY 1920, we're going to be 1 billion. You already know that we are a 3.5 billion market cap company. So we're very proud of that. And just as a summary, as you know, we have small molecules, we have biologics by and large, we have branded formulations in UAE and South Asia, and we have our research services. So that in all summarizes what we do and how we grow our business. So thank you very much. It's been wonderful talking to. Thank you. Oh.
Everything was recorded.
Please don't disclose it to the authorities. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful stay in India and Bangalore. Get more friends, and I owe you an answer on this.
No, we'll communicate via email. No worries. No
Yeah.
rush, no rush.
So
Still vacations.
Do you operate in the Philippines?
our B2B business does.
Who's your partner there?
We sell it to partners, and I'm not sure. I will have to come back to you on that. We have our footprint in the Philippines. We sell it to partner companies. It's like we sell the raw material.
Yeah.
So
So is this like the derived drug that's being sold in Japan? Is it being sold there in the Philippines?
so we sell them as drug substance,
Drug substance, not as the like this one.
not as the final
insulin
product.
glargine.
So you will have a kind of label of the local
Yeah.
company.
So you supply the raw ingredients?
Yes.
Then your partner company, the one?
Yes. So like in Japan, we have one partner company. But when you're doing drug substance, B2B, we will supply to everyone who asks for it.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's not really related to your slides. I'm sorry, I'm just curious. The hotel sector, I actually spoke to a few people when I came down on a personal basis. They said they have something called a corporate responsibility. That means they take part in like Clean India campaigns, and they do their bit to the society. Being a big level company, do you all have such events as well?
Yes. This, for example, the ELAD Smart Clinics. And this photo that you see, we have tied up with the state governments of Karnataka and Rajasthan. So with the public health units, the government has public health units, right? So
Just an observation with regards to your company.
Can I just answer this question and then I'll come back to you?
Okay.
So what we do here is we take up the government structure, which is so we kind of give it a nice coat of paint. We have two models. One model is with the government run it with the government employees. We ensure delivery. We organize the room, we set up our computers, we set up the doctor stations, everything. So we work with the people that the government gives us. That's one type of model. The second type of model is we bring in our doctors, our nursing staff, and run, but the infrastructure is the government's. So what we do inside the clinic is we document, we provide lab tests. So we've got a new app come diagnostic machine which does about 70 tests. So most of the primary care requirements are met out of that screening device. So we run these these public health units and public health centers of the state government. The government is not able to supply medicine. The government is not able to supply the required care. So in these two states, we have taken part of the government facility and we are running it.
So it's free.
It's free.
And just to add
And
to
in
what-
addition to that, sorry.
Yeah, just to add to what Mr. Subramanian said, these are in remote areas. Most of them are in remote areas, rural areas, where they don't have too much access. So because Biocon is doing this work, a lot of people are getting access to healthcare. Just to add to that.
And we realize that one of the better ways to do it is partner the government. So you're
Subsidizing.
no. We are also trying to get into those kind of models, so we would have the sustenance ability to do it over larger patient population. So the government itself is very keen, but politicians and their will and everything needs to come together. So we need to be at it, but we are quite committed and we do a whole lot of things. So what we do is it's a hub and spoke model. We connect these PHCs to district hospitals. We have our mobile vans as well, going with the same diagnostic equipment and computers, where we park ourselves in interior. We also do tele medicine with district hospitals where consultants sit, and therefore we are able to bring specialist treatment. We upload the cases, the reports, and the consultants can see it if the local doctors can't. So we have another model where we have technicians relaying information and doctors giving therapy. So we are trying to, in these pilots, in these small operations that we have, we are trying to bring in technology as well to make sure that we reach to a larger population. So that's where we are. So CSR is a very important part of our, so we have a separate organization within Biocon called Biocon Foundation, which deals with corporate social responsibility. They're the ones who tie up with the governments. They're the ones who do all the cancer screening in far up northeast and all the camps nationally. And the e-large clinics is also part of their what they do. So we are also happy to train government into doing this. So it has a lot of potential to partner with government and do more. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. I noticed that your company is positioned to cater primarily to diabetic and cancer patients, right? I can understand because these are if you call it the high, if you compare this to crops, these are the high yielding crops. I mean, you get more money from your investments, right? Anyway, in Philippines, we call this diabetes.
That's not the only reason. I think
I
the main reason is the need gap is the highest
But then,
in oncology. Sorry?
yeah, but then
These are the
the,
prevailing diseases.
Correct. We call it NCDs, which are non-communicable diseases. In India, you must know the background in India. In India, it is the communicable diseases and tropical diseases which get priority. Malaria, dengue, tuberculosis, filariasis, these are the ones that get priority. NCDs, the demand, like I said, we are the diabetic capital of the world. There's not much of government, so we need cheaper medicine. We need good drugs, and the need gap is the highest amongst diabetics. Now, what diabetics does is, it does not create a seriousness and somebody pops off. It is something that's going to last for 30, 40 years. Today, people live a good 80, 90 years. So, as a diabetic, a person lives for 50, 60 years. So, India, unlike many of your governments, the government does not pay for treatment. The patient, out of their their earnings, pays its out-of-pocket expense.
Yeah, even in the Philippines.
Right? In the Philippines as well.
Yes.
But Brunei, Thailand, a large part of Southeast Asia, you have governments which foot the bill. So, which is why what we do is, because of our research and innovation, we bring these drugs at a much lower cost. So our drugs, be it in cancer, are 50% the price of Roche. We brought down the price by 50% when we launched trastuzumab for breast cancer. Our insulins are far lower than Sanofi and Novo Nordisk. And so we give quality, innovative products at affordable prices. So, yes, in doing this mission, we can't do it for free, right? We have to invest. Biologics, I'm not sure if you have, I would urge you to do some research. The investments are very high, and we don't know what at the end of the day you will come out with. It's easy to do a biologic, not easy. If it is difficult to do a biologic first time on, if you have to copy a biologic, you can't get the same reference, because a biologic can go, it's human, it's live cells, right? So it's very difficult. It's unlike a tablet to tablet, you can't make an equivalent, right? So from one place to another. So the amount of care and elbow room for mistakes is just not there. And therefore all that is high cost. So we have committed ourselves to this path, and we are early people in this category. So, which is why you don't have too many people in biologics. It is because of this risk, right? Yeah, but if you gain, you gain.
Yeah, but for example, so aside from diabetes and for cancer, are you developing something like anti-dengue drugs, which are very common now in Asia?
Correct. No, dengue, we're not. Dengue, we are still awaiting.
Your diabetes, we consider in the Philippines, diabetes and cancer are illnesses of rich people. Yes.
Cancer?
Yes.
Oh no, not in India.
In
India, what we have found is diabetes and obesity are even in tier 3. And diabetes cuts through. India has exploded. Diabetes cuts through all socio-economic classes. The reasons could be that the syndrome X that they used to say, that the Indian gene, and this is only a hypothesis, the syndrome X, is that because of multiple famines and plenty, the body has over generations designed to store. Okay, so that is working against the Indian population. So as Indians born here, we are predisposed to diabetes, and which is why it is not a rich man's disease in India.
Actually, it's also hereditary.
Yes, and the reason why it's hereditary is where the syndrome X, the gene, is because of alternating famines and plenty. The body tends to reserve and store, and that is the main reason for for the cardio-diabetic or metabolic disorders, that is called.
In India, are there more type 1 diabetes patients or type 2?
It is type 2.
Type 2.
However, type 1 is increasing.
I ran out already. I just give you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a pleasant stay and have a nice journey back to your countries.
Thank you very much. I just want to know a very small thing. It's important also. This chemotherapy, I heard like in USA, instead of the whole procedure, the pills are coming. So has that also come in India? It has come.
Oh, biologics.
Biologics.
Oh, biologics.
It has come.
It is come.
So and where one finds that it's available in the market.
But only thing is, these biologics will not guarantee for everybody. You have to have a certain, what shall I say? They give you biomarkers to see if the patient will respond to this drug or not. And then only they give the drug. Because many of the biologics are good for 30% of the population, 20% of the population, and not for 100%. But for whomsoever they are good, they even change, they are a cure. In some indications, they are a cure.
Also, I think we have seen the kind of recession that we have seen in psoriasis patients. So it is much better than even the innovative drugs that are there.
Yes, that is there.
So, he's talking about psoriasis, which is an autoimmune disorder.
That's very.
And if psoriasis comes, it kind of destroys a person's confidence because it is a thick, crusty layer of skin that is on the arm or on the leg or constant. Sometimes it is even weeping. Whatever you do, you can't get rid of it. You can't wear garments, you can't wear whatever, so your lifestyle is impacted. So our drug that we have, it's an originator drug, but we have found for psoriasis, gives you relief and maintains the relief for a longer period. It's called remission. The ability of the disease not to come back. So the time to get your next symptom is longest when you use Alzumab, our psoriasis drug. Those are the benefits of targeted therapy biologics.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Have a good time. Thank you.
Hey, lunch. Maybe you can join their.
I'll be willing to do some trial here. Test it on me.
This is.
Give me an intro to Sultan.
Cheers, thank you so much, sir.
That's why he's the only one with diabetes.
I'm the only one.
He's the only rich one.
He's the one. He's representing.
I'm representing this.
Okay. Yes, I will be there. I'll be coming. I'll give you a call. Yeah? If you can help me around, it'll be great. Yeah? Lovely. You have contacts with the government? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's wonderful.
Oh, group photo shots. Yes. It's very important. We're bringing back to our government. Yes. Where's the politics? Where do they normally do the photos?
I think this is a good. Do you think the lighting is good? I mean, it's a nice.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, okay. But we just move the chairs out.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just.
Came to the group?
He's the youngest 19 years old.
Oh, fantastic. Which country?
Cambodia.
Cambodia. Oh,
We'll have just a group photograph.
Okay, we take it then. Actually,
Okay.
here.
Yeah, share here.
Oh,
And then
Yeah, then we gonna.
I'm here. For me, I'm looking at my neck.
Yeah, I'll back down.
all right, no problem.
Yes, this
Yeah,
is
very nice. Very good.
Kind of like
Which country are you from?
Laos.
Laos, okay.
Okay, gentlemen also can be friends. You all also play, right?
Yeah.
You play Paper Stone? Yeah, Paper Stone in your country? The game is Paper Stone. You all don't have Scissor Stone? Yeah. Scissor Stone. You cannot decide 6 years Paper Stone. 1 point. Yeah, that's why. That's why when they said one. Where are you from?
This angle, I guess. Optimal position.
Yeah, I know. Okay, it just goes like cross-leg.
Yes. Sliding.
Yeah, it's a bit long.
The hardworking student.
Staring ringing the bell.
Can get signs in it.
Are we too spread out?
Can we get, we can spread out, is it alright? It's okay. Wow.
Yeah, you'll have to tell your people, I actually am this.
Maybe one more.
Yeah.
Smile.
That's great.
Say cheese.
Cheese. Sweets. Diabetes. Candy. Diabetes. Yeah.
Alright,
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
From there, I'll spread to everyone.
Guys, they do not manufacture Viagra here.
Oh, I used to do it in my older company.
It's recording, right?
I don't know.
We'll have to make 2 groups. I think they want to.
I don't know.
We need 2 groups for the because so many people want to. Yeah.
Left and left again. Sorry, what?
Good. So yes, there are 2 labs, so many people won't fit in.
Sure, no worries. I'll go with any group.
Where do you want? To see Viagra one?
Are they both different?
Yeah.
So,
With
one
diabetes or digital, sir?
diabetes of
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, the
Why I
same.
tried to do it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said they still record. That's why I don't take anything.
Wow. We check it. Anything?
check.
Okay.
He forgot something.
Here, maybe 100 rupee. Yeah, rupee.
Please don't diminish me.
Hello.
For 1,000 rupee.
You know what's funny? I got it recording, so I know who took it. It's recorded. All right. Anyway, let's finish.